your background as it relates to um, God and Christianity and where you come from and where you've evolved to um, in that vein.
Well, when we were with the Blue Notes, of course, we were surrounded by Islam. Kool and the Gang were Muslims, and we met them at the Apollo Theater, the Delphonics, So I came up in Islam. That was the first religion that I submitted myself totally to. In 1987, I met Minister Louis Farrakhan, became his minister, and July the 14th, 1997, I was born again. I was filled with the Holy Spirit, born again. Been preaching the gospel for now 13 years and travel all over the world. So my background started with Islam, and it has evolved now into Christ. And it's a wonderful experience because now I'm able to teach even Muslims about the Lord and even share the Quran, about how it refers to Jesus all through the Quran, open their eyes concerning Him. Many Muslims don't know that the Quran said that Jesus healed the lepers, raised the dead, gave sight to the blind. It's in the Quran. And the same Jesus did the same thing in the Bible before there was a Quran. So I have a broad background, and I thank God for every step that He has taken us. But we were very sensual in our music because we did believe in God back then, and we believed that God could do all things back then. We just didn't have the relationship, and so when we played, we even before we did our shows, we always prayed, you know. But now we've grown closer, and we know Him. We know the fullness of Him now.
Now, Martin, I want you to share your thoughts from that vein too, because um, you know, you and I live in a house together, and so I know quite a bit about your background. I think I know most things about your background, but I just want you to share your thoughts from the same perspective as to where you evolved from a spiritual standpoint.
Okay. Once again, like I said, we did back in the time that me and Jeremiah was with the Harmon Blues. We were, or as a matter of fact, when I got with the band, everybody in the band was Muslims. Everybody, everybody in the band, and so therefore, I got a chance to learn discipline off the breakaway. I mean, there were certain things that they did because association that I adapted to, that I became a part of. Because of that, the closest get the mostest. You remember that old saying? You show me two or three people that you hang around with, I can show you what your future gonna be. So therefore, when I hung around with these guys, I became very astute in trying to always find out some type of knowledge about something. Always trying to find out why this was that and why that was that. We'll be out of town. I'll be the first one up to go into a museum to try to find something else about the culture or whatever was going on. So therefore, I learned about that side of Islam, and then I also went a little further and did some other seeking through the Moorish Science Temple. I went down that vein through my life. I took on the name Bay years ago. Martin Cornwell Bay, and but that has since been, now that I found God, the true living God, and really, really found Him. But while I was always on a path seeking that, and now I know what it is. I'm home now. I know that Jesus Christ is Lord. I know that. I feel that. Even in the Quran or the More Scientific America, they say these lessons for all those that love Jesus and desire to know about the truth and life of His teachings. So, I was learning that then, but just need to get back to here. All it do is just take me right back home. So that's why I'm home now, and I thank God that I'm home.
Now, how old were you when you went out on the road? He's blushing. He's blushing. He's blushing.
At the time I went on the road, I was 21 years old. 21 years old.
And Dr. Jeremiah, how old were you when you went out on the
We're the
road?
same age.
And and I asked that question because they were young men when they went out on the road, and they were, because of what they did, as Martin said, you become like the people that you're around. And so the question is, what are your young people around? What are your young people exposed to? And do you have your young people in a place where they're exposed to Jesus? Because we know that there's only one true and living God, and so, just because that was what they were around and that's what they were exposed to, that's what they became and what they became involved in. And but God is awesome because He will full circle things, and you'll find yourself in a place because these two gentlemen now, when they worship God, and the music is a blessed thing. It's God. Music is from God, and we know this, and it's universal. Yes, it is, and I think that a lot of times we get caught up with secular music versus Christian music, and when you are with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, that was your livelihood, and I think that if the lyrical content is intact, there's nothing wrong with a good old love song.
Right.
Are we right about it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and you hear me talk about falling. What is the song? Falling in love with Jesus. It's a good old love song. And so, in a lot of the music now in the gospel industry, if you listen to it, it has an R&B flavor to it because a lot of the R&B artists are coming over to do music in the Christian side. I'm not mad at them. I'm excited that they finding more of Jesus because a lot of them, even though they're doing music, they still loving on Jesus. It's not that they don't love him. That's their livelihood. And so it's just all blessed. And I think what we need to do this evening is we need to hear some music from these two gentlemen. That's what I think we really need to do.